Hey guys, this is Mario, and in this video you're gonna learn how can you burn your belly fat. So I'm gonna approach this from two very different angles. And the first angle will be simply that I get this question so much, like someone will approach me in the gym and they're gonna just grab a chunk of their love handles or their lower abdominals, and they're gonna say, hey man, I need to burn this off in the next 3 weeks. I need to get rid of this. How can I get rid of this part right here? Or like girls will come over and just gonna say, hey, I need like to get rid of this fat, like right here, like under the bicep. I mean, people want to specifically target some areas, and unfortunately it's not possible. I mean, hate to break it to you, I have to say this story over and over again. It is not possible to spot reduce fat. Like, it just doesn't work. The body does not work like that. The body is a system, and you can systematically reduce your total body fat level to a point where you're gonna be lean enough, and that part will shrink, that part will be burnt off, and you're gonna be looking leaner and looking better. So the analogy I like to use when it comes to really explaining how the body fat reduction process works is simply, let's say I pour a little bit of water here, right? And I have a hair dryer, and I have put that hair dryer in the lowest setting possible, and I'm simply blowing at that water. And it is a slow process, but as you'll notice that the water will start kind of vaporizing from the sides to the very center, and the center part will be the last part remaining. So it burns from the outer parts to the center first. That's kind of how your body fat reduction process works. As you diet, first you're gonna start losing your fat on your shoulders, maybe a little bit on the arms, then you're gonna start like the back, like your chest, and then your upper abs, then you're a little bit lower, and then that last part remaining, at least for guys, will be that love handle, like that small amount on your lower abdominal muscles, right? That's gonna be the final part remaining. And that's basically how it works. Like, you can't bypass the nature. For girls, it's a little bit different. For girls, the fat that will be remaining the last will be the fat on the glutes, right? So you can't magically spot reduce fat. I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you, those targeted ab workouts that you say, hey, just burn belly fat, they just don't work. You can't do that. None of those belts or wrapping yourself up in foil. I know that was a fad, but at certain points, shit doesn't work, and it's actually very, very harmful for your health. The second situation I wanted to approach this, like an angle on this kind of how to burn your belly fat, is from guys who are actually dieting already, the guys who already have some experience, and they just started to realize the fact that not all fat is the same, right? There's different types of fat in your body. There's more stubborn fat, there's fat that is easier to burn, and it really comes down to different receptors inside of the fat cells themselves, right? They react to different hormones like noradrenaline, adrenaline, insulin, some have less blood flow, and all these factors really have to be taken into consideration when you're looking at fat. But before we kind of even dive into that, one thing I realized that guys think that fat is a lot more stubborn than it actually is, right? And a lot of people will kind of just dismiss the fact that they simply need to cut the calories again, or they just need to add a little bit more exercise. They just simply need to repeat the fundamentals again and stick to the basics until they get to that really lean level. Because when we are talking about stubborn fat, I mean, realistically, that's not a problem unless you want to compete at a stage, right? Unless you're a competitive bodybuilder or like a physique competitor, then you should be worried about stubborn fat. But for most people, I mean, I'm not worried about it. And you saw my pictures and you saw videos. I mean, I'm super lean according to like the standards, but I really don't worry about that stubborn fat. I always have a little bit of fat left. And if you look at Hollywood actors, if you look at like just the standard fitness models or models in general, they will have a little bit of fat left. Because to get that last final bit, it takes as much effort as to go from like 15% to like 7% body fat. And it's just not worth it if it's not your profession, right? It's a great sacrifice, takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of different tools, like introducing specialized high-intensity interval training, maybe adding some low-intensity training, moderating your carbohydrate intake, nutrition partitioning, all sorts of different things that you can do, like certain supplements and all of that. But it's really not an issue for most people. And I think guys like to jump ahead of things, and really it's that lack of patience where you simply need to cut the calories again. And I know you're hungry. I mean, I'm hungry as well. We're all fucking hungry, right? It is difficult, it's not easy, and I think the expectations that we have of us, and especially of the diet and of the protocol and of all of this, is that it's gonna be easy. I think people really mismanage their own expectations when it comes to weight loss. And there was actually a paper recently that I've came across where they asked a bunch of people, how much weight do you plan to lose? Like, you're going on a diet, how much weight do you want to lose? And in the average, people wanted to lose 33% of their body weight in a few months. I mean, realistically, is that possible? Well, it's not unrealistic completely, but it's definitely fucking hard, right? That's almost impossible to guarantee that someone will be able to burn. That's such a high expectations to put on yourself. Like, it's amazing, right? Someone with 220 pounds, which completely neglecting their life for years and years, neglecting their health and all of that, they just want to lose like 33% of their body weight. That's incredible. That's 60 fucking pounds in a couple of months. Come on, I mean, let's be real. And what happened is that these people, at the end of the diet, they lost about half of that. So they lost about 16% of their body weight, and they were not happy. Like, none of them were happy. And I mean, it's incredible how high our expectations are, and we've been brainwashed. Literally, we have been brainwashed by the magazines, by the ads, by the supplement companies, by everybody. Like, even the authors of like the quote-unquote evidence-based, some of them, not all of them, but we hate to generalize, but even certain authors, they'll say, oh yeah, it's easy, it's quick. Once you find a formula, it's effortless, right? It's fucking not effortless, I'll tell you that. I mean, the body will fight you for every single gram of fat that you want to burn off. And that's just the reality. And I think a lot of people, because they have such high expectations, they give up at the first sign of a plateau because they expect some kind of magic to happen. And with weight loss, you know that the initial first few weeks is very easy. So you get a little bit of reinforcement, a little bit of validation for like going super fucking hard, and then you just stick to it and you get a massive amount of results, and you think that's going to be sustainable for a very long period of time, which in reality, it's very hard to sustain. The longer you diet, the harder it gets. So you definitely want to manage your own expectations and realize if you're already lean, if you're getting to that lean point, I mean, it takes fucking patience to lose about half a pound a week, right? That takes a lot of patience, a lot of diligence, a lot of perseverance, a lot of simple methods that you need to account for every little bit of things. You have to be more precise with your calories, you have to be more precise with your training, you have to sleep properly. I mean, it really takes a little bit of tightening up your whole life in order to really get to those extreme levels of body fat. I mean, by extreme, I mean like about 7-8% of body fat, where you're completely lean, where you can see your whole six-pack regardless of the lighting and normal conditions without some kind of special flexing or whatever. So to really get at that point, I think a lot of people are kind of mismanaging their expectations, but that's a whole different topic that we can go into another video. And I hope you kind of got a little bit of information on how to actually burn belly fat and what it really comes down to. As I said, you can't spot reduce, and don't jump ahead of yourself. It comes down to just being in that caloric deficit in an extended period of time, dealing with hunger, dealing with all these things that might become a problem as you diet. Your body will get used to it. You need to cut calories again, you need to add more exercise. And these are just normal things, and you want to expect them to happen. You want to expect that plateau to happen and simply adjust. It's a math problem. Trust the math formula, trust the energy balance, and you're gonna succeed. You're gonna get lean, you're gonna transform your body, you're gonna get your results. Simply, if you trust the process, have patience, and that's for the belly fat solution for you right there. And if you have any questions on this specific topic or anything I talked about in this video, leave it in the comments below. Let's share some ideas, let's discuss. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.